Hey everybody, Jordan Leibel here, and we're continuing learning some early basic skills at the piano. So we know how to do scales, we know how to do chords, and now we need to start working on our actual muscle strength in our hands to be able to play as well as possible. So first things first, when you're sitting down at the piano, sit up nice and straight, keep your hands and your arms sort of parallel to the keyboard. So you want your forearms to be kind of at keyboard level and at the same keyboard angle. And when you're playing with your fingertips, resist the urge to flatten out your fingers and kind of just flop along the keyboard. You don't want to do that. You actually want to play with your hands nice and rounded like this, so you're actually playing on the ball tips of your fingers. All right, and some quick and easy little tips to get you using your fingers properly. Just put your hand on the keyboard like you're playing that C major scale, and a real easy way to build up some finger strength and musicality is simply to walk up using your 5 fingers. Just walk up and down and be really deliberate with each note that you play. A lot of times your 4th and 5th fingers tend to lag behind the rest in terms of their strength. They always are a little bit weaker, and if you don't keep on top of that at this early stage in the game, you're just going to end up with a bunch of headaches and problems later on. So really dig into the piano, make sure each of your fingers is getting its fair share of the work. And as you're playing, feel free to experiment with louds and softs. Maybe you want to start nice and quiet and try to gradually build up and get louder and more intense as you play. That's all stuff that's going to help you become a more musical player later on. Another thing that you want to learn is how to separate your fingers from just moving, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just moving kind of linearly up and down. So something that I like to do is actually alternate my fingers. So I just put my thumb on C, my pinky finger on G, and this is obviously just in the right hand, but you can take the same thing in the left hand too. And I like to play, so I like to play C, E, D, F, E, G, and then I go back down. G, E, F, D, E, C. So we're kind of strengthening we're strengthening our fingers, but kind of in thirds here. So we're going from C to E, and then we're going from D to F, E to G, so and you can take both hands once you get nice and comfortable. And just strengthen your hands that way. Now, another thing that's really important when you're first starting out is stretching your hands out before you're doing any practice whatsoever. So a quick, easy way to do that is simply to hold your hands together like this and just kind of press your fingers back and forth and kind of stretch out your joints that way. And if you want to stretch out your kind of finger muscles, you can also spread your fingers out like this. And that'll give you that reach, because eventually you want to be able to play, big, large chords or something, and you need to stretch out in order to do that. So you know how to stretch, you know how to just do some basic exercises that you can do in the key of C. If you learn some other keys, you can do it in those keys too, but it's a great start before every practice to stretch out, to make sure you get some finger exercises under your fingers before you even start doing chords, before you even start playing scales. Just stick with these simple fingers 1 to 5 exercises, and you'll be set and ready to play in no time. And we'll see you all in the next lesson.